Hey guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please support this podcast by going to talkmurder.com/join and becoming a Talko Supremo. There's a few things we all worry about while at the station pumping gas. For instance, is my credit card going to decline again? Is this guy's cigarette next pump over going to blow us all to smithereens? Or how and why did I even end up at this gas station when I ride a bicycle? Whatever the case may be, there is one thing that you probably never worried about before. Am I going to be shot in the head by a sniper while holding this nozzle? Well, if you lived around the Beltway district in 2002, that was your prime concern. You, like millions of other citizens around D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, were under the crosshairs of two men. Two ghosts, if you will, with the sole determination to wreak havoc and chaos upon an entire nation. And you know what? It worked.
Welcome back to Talk Murder to Me.
Happy Taco Tuesday.
I feel like it's been forever since we recorded.
I know.
Well, I was away. I was in Myrtle Beach for the weekend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's true.
So,
I lost 5 pounds.
good job, John. Proud of you.
Thank you.
I think I gained 5 pounds. Actually, whatever.
Tonight, we are drinking Nectar of the Gods, which is basically just champagne and raspberry liqueur. Cheers. I feel like you should cheers with champagne.
Cheers to 1,000 likes on Facebook.
Yeah. Huzzah.
Oh, that's good. I mean, it just tastes like champagne that's red.
With just a hint of sweetness. It also called for some agave syrup, but I don't have that. And also, you don't need added sugar with this. It's delicious.
It's good.
All right, so...
That is dangerous.
do y'all know the hint?
Yes, there were a few hints tonight. One of them was...
Hey, do you just want to read it?
Yeah, sure. We can do that.
Well, I wrote this poem for you, Jen.
You'll never catch me not on this spree.
Well, you got to read the whole thing.
Oh, thought I was just reading the poem.
Oh, yeah, just read the poem.
You'll never catch me not on this spree. And even if you're careful, you can't outrun my 223. Try to hunt me down, Mr. Police. I'll send in your best squad. But once the trunk pops open, you can call me God. Heart Shooter McJohn.
Shooter McJohn. Oh, do you know that Shooter McGavin?
Yeah, from Happy Gilmore. That's what I thought of when I saw that.
But do you know, so I looked up a Shooter McGavin drink, and...
That's what I was literally thinking of looking up.
He got, arrested recently for DUI.
Really?
It's his second arrest for DUI, so I'll show you his mugshot.
Oh, he did not age well.
They literally call him Shooter McGavin. Shooter McGavin arrested. It's like he doesn't even have a name. It's just Shooter McGavin. Look how bloodshot his eyes
He does
are.
not look good.
He got some cataracts.
That's the second arrest, apparently.
He's not.
Christopher McDonald. I mean, that would suck to be an actor and known as that one character for the rest of your career.
I don't know him as that one character. He's in a bunch of stuff, but I can't think of what he's in.
But you know he's Shooter McGavin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of looking up a Shooter McGavin drink, but Nicole found this one and it's really good, so cheers to you.
It works. We're going to have some spree cocktails, but we didn't have all the ingredients.
What's in that?
That one had some apple juice and kiwi juice and
Ooh, kiwi juice.
or maybe kiwi liqueur. Where do you find? I've never seen that before.
All right, Jen, Nicole knows the story, so where are we going? Who are we killing?
I don't know the story, but you did tell me that people guessed it right in the comments, and I accidentally saw the comments.
Where are we going, Jen? Who are we
Washington,
killing?
D.C.
So you already know?
I saw the comments, too.
Ah, damn it. Okay, well, would y'all have known if it wasn't for the comments?
No.
Oh, fuck me.
I definitely would not have known.
I'm going to start sending you guys the hint through a text message.
That's what you used to do.
Instead of these comments, because everyone got it right.
Or just tell us not to look on Facebook.
Or just say, here's the hint. It's posted on Facebook. Don't look.
Okay, I'll do that. So y'all wouldn't have known?
No.
Oh, damn it. It was a great hint.
I thought I would have. Originally, I was going to guess it had something to do with like church. Like
I was
there
going to guess Richard Ramirez.
Yeah. Okay, so shout out to, I think, let's see.
John
who
was the first one. No, Steve was the first one.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure he was the first one I saw.
Steve, Brett,
I thought it was somebody else.
William.
Scroll
There's
up.
some new people on there.
Yeah, so
hey, new people. Hey,
Hey, new
hey.
people.
Heyo.
So big shout out and dedication to everyone that's got it right. Steve, Lisa, which I asked Lisa because she said she was in the area while that was happening. And she says, for sure, we were scared to go places and even stop and pump our gas, which we'll talk about. The shootings were so random, you felt anyone could be the next victim. Brett got it right. Awesome, Brett. Lauren, actually, this story is for Lauren. This was her request. So, Lauren, this is for you and is a very interesting story. And I spent a lot of time researching it, so I hope you like it. Abby, you also thought it could be the Texas Tower Sniper. There's a really good movie on Netflix. Remember that we watched that? Yeah.
That was phenomenal.
I didn't see that one.
So she says she hasn't saw that. So it's called The Tower, I'm pretty sure.
I think you're right. It was like
and it's very artsy
animated.
done.
It was
animated,
like almost
yeah.
like animated comic book style. It was very cool.
It's half animation and half real footage. It's
Whoa.
it's really
I'll have to
blended
check
well.
that
It's
out.
really good. So you should check that out, Abby. And then Lauren, of course, I'm doing your request. Michael says, "Oh, you're way off, Michael."
He's the only one that didn't get it.
Okay, I think you know the story, but wrong state. I don't want to give the story away, but no, it did not happen in Alabama. The first one didn't. Okay. But I think you do maybe know the story, so I don't know. I'm not going to give it to you, though. William, Cassie, Jenny, and Michael. So
this has been probably your most engaged guessing post.
Yeah, I love the interaction from all of our new tacos.
So this is dedicated to you guys. Congratulations.
That's a lot of dedications for this surprise shot.
This is dedicated to the one I love.
Yeah, luckily we're not taking shots per everyone that gets it right.
Yeah, that would be bad.
I mean, we do have to work in the morning, John.
All right, 8 shots.
Debatable.
All right, you guys ready?
Okay.
Ready? Okay.
So you should try to sing it in the Alvin and the Chipmunks voice.
No, that would be obnoxious. That would be way obnoxious. Like, I'm known for being obnoxious, but like that
would be to the top.
That's too much for me. Surprise shots, surprise shots. We don't know what they are because they're a surprise.
Okay. I can't do it.
Okay.
That also almost sounded a little bit like from like Mario Kart. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Cheers, bitches.
That was Jim Beam, peach bourbon.
Oh, we suck. We've been doing this for 2 years. I still can't guess the right fucking whiskey.
Every now and then we do.
That was.
I guessed it once.
It was a mix between the. Well, I did, like before I mixed because I only had the nips for like one. I had one nip of the
From our 12 shots of Christmas.
Yeah, from our 12 shots of Christmas.
I have 2 nips. I remember when when I was in high school, my history / baseball coach got fired because he would sit all the girls up in front and crank the air conditioner.
Oh yeah, I think you told us that.
Yeah, so their nips get hard. Nipples, because when it's cold, their nipples get hard.
Thanks.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Mm-hmm.
I didn't think you understood. So it sucked. I had to sit in the back. I couldn't see shit.
Well, they're they're sensitive, you know, like very sensitive.
Baby. You know what? At least
I'll come up to the front and read.
At least when it's cold out, nipples get hard versus dicks shrink.
Oh yeah,
Mine doesn't shrink.
When it's cold out?
No, it's permanently small.
I thought you used that stretcher thing.
It goes back into my body when it gets cold.
Gross.
All right, so what do y'all guys know about the DC snipers, otherwise called or also known as the Beltway snipers?
I know that like people were like really afraid. It was very fear-inducing, and I also know that this drink is excellent.
First off, tell me what the Beltway is, because I'm not from up there.
So the Beltway would be like the highways that go around the DC area to, like, we drove on the Beltway when we were driving back from.
So it's like a
95?
circular.
Yeah, it goes
gotcha.
around. The Beltway goes around the city.
All right, here's another question that you'll probably get wrong.
Who?
Around this time period, okay, we're going to 2002. It was less than a year than some event that happened. What was it?
Virginia
9/11?
Tech? Oh, 9/11.
Virginia Tech. I knew you'd get it wrong. Well, was it? When was Virginia Tech? I think it was 2008 or something. Yeah.
I don't
Was
know.
it?
Yeah, that was like when I was in the Army.
I was in
felt
high
like-
school.
I felt like that was.
Well, do y'all even remember 9/11?
Of
Yeah,
course.
I was in 5th grade. My dad was supposed to get on a plane that day from Logan, and I
Yeah.
was petrified.
Dude, I remember that because I was skipping school that day. So I remember being in my car smoking weed and hearing that shit on the radio. I didn't really understand it, but I was like, every station.
Was it because you were just like really high, or because like you didn't understand what was going on?
No, every station, like I was like, fuck, I want to listen to music. And it was like,
You were
every
what, a freshman
station.
in high school?
Yeah. Yeah, I was a freshman.
That's so weird. I was in 5th grade and you were a freshman.
You
But
had
I
a
was-
car when you were a freshman in high school?
Yeah, I had a car.
I thought
What
you
was
couldn't
the
get a
driving
I thought
age
you had to be
here?
I don't give a
16.
fuck.
Clearly. I was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
No, we had.
And I'll never
I know.
forget.
You were in
John's
5th
an
grade
old
when you
man.
got your driver's license?
No, I was in 5th grade when 9/11 happened, and my teacher, her sister was also a teacher at our school, and she came in and like whispered in her ear, and she like broke into tears immediately, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" And then, like I said, my dad was supposed to get on a flight from Logan, on American Airlines. So
Oh, the one that crashed?
no, not that flight, thank God. But like I didn't know that, so
you know
I
what?
was.
Seth MacFarlane was going to be
Yeah,
on
he
one
was
of those
supposed
planes.
to be on that flight. But
It's amazing how everyone has a connective story on
yeah,
that day.
And then one of the kids in my class, his dad is or was a firefighter, and he ended up going, I think, to New York to help out after the fact. I'm pretty sure.
All right, so what was life like after that? Because I remember the DC snipers very clearly, and there's one image. We would watch all the nightly news with my dad, so I knew like the story as it unfolded. But I'll never forget this one image that's like imprinted in my mind of this woman pumping gas, and like she has her head down, like she has her hand wrapped around the pump nozzle, and she's like ducking, trying to like hurry up, I gotta pump this shit so she can get back in her car. That's all I remember.
Wow.
I just remember it being it was a time of high alert, but also a big time of like patriotism and unity.
Yeah. Everyone
Yeah.
kind of came together.
But I remember, like I remember anthrax scares
Oh my
were
gosh.
not that
Yeah, I was gonna
far
bring that
after.
up.
Scary, yeah.
So there was just it was paranoia everywhere.
So I think 5 people died from anthrax.
Like people were afraid to open their mail.
Yep.
Oh,
because
yeah.
of
Oh, yeah.
it.
There were like instructions on how to open mail safely and
Basically, get your girlfriend to open it.
I think I remember confusing anthrax with Ajax, which is also a white powder.
What the fuck?
I was in 5th grade at the time, But yeah, I do remember the patriotism. I do remember anthrax. I don't really remember the DC sniper because I was, not really
Same.
tuned into that.
This is less than a year after 9/11, which was what day, Nicole?
it was a Tuesday actually.
wait.
September 11th,
There you
Nicole.
I didn't know if you wanted to get really specific. It was a Tuesday.
I don't know if you guys, if I showed you guys when we were in Mass, but in the Acushnet, which is the next town over from me, they have like a beam from one of the buildings, like as a memorial.
All right, so we're going to October 2nd, 2002 at 6:04 p.m. This is in Maryland. Okay.
Your future college town, state,
What?
Mine?
college state, Nicole.
I went to
Loyola.
school in,
Baltimore.
Maryland. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy that you were 5 and I was like
No.
14.
I wasn't
No.
5.
Oh.
We're
I was in
grade.
5th grade.
That's different. That's different. Quite different, John.
You were 5 and I was like 14.
Oh my gosh,
If you were
Nicole.
14, that means I was 9.
I tried crab legs this past weekend.
What'd you think?
I liked them.
I think lobster
What does
is way
that have
better.
anything to do with what we're talking about?
That's
All right.
a Maryland thing, yeah.
So we're going to October 2nd, 2002 at 6:04 p.m. We're going here, the Shoppers Warehouse, like a grocery store, kind of like a TD's.
Yeah.
It's located at 2201 Randolph Road, Wheaton, Maryland. This was the first sniper victim. Now, there was a few minutes before, about 15 minutes before, another shot that went into a Michaels, and we're going to talk about that, but it missed completely. Okay. But this is the second shot fired and the first victim killed of the sniper spree.
Okay.
All right. These, what?
When I'm probably too early in my question here.
Probably.
At least she knows.
Did the snipers, like, were they just shooting to shoot, or they were like actually targeting?
How many
specific?
Was it one sniper?
Well, I would assume it's more than one. DC snipers is what you've said.
Okay. So you guys know it's 2 snipers.
I would guess it's more
Okay.
than one,
It is 2 snipers. I thought I was going to have that a secret, but I guess you guys know. Okay. Wait, what was your question?
Well, I guess it's kind of it didn't really. Never mind. Just future John cut that.
What would-
No, she was asking if
Were they just shooting to shoot, or were they really trying to pick people off?
No, that's way too early to ask that question. All right. James
Good try,
D.
though.
Yeah. James D. Martin was the first victim, and I'm going to show you him right now.
James Dean
No,
Martin.
James D. Martin.
Oh.
I heard that too, John.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, which is a combination between James Dean and Dean Martin in my head, but you know.
Okay, this is James D. Martin right here. Now, as a you missed
He
it.
looks
didn't
like a friendly guy.
I missed him.
Well, it's too bad, Jen. It's too bad. He was at the Shoppers Warehouse, kind of like a TD's, and he was buying stuff for kids at the Sheffield Elementary School. And he was also buying stuff for his church from one newspaper I read.
That's good.
They're at the Shoppers in Maryland. The lot is completely full. I mean, it's so full that people are driving their cars and waiting for people to come out so they can park.
Oh, we had to do that at Quinnipiac because there was only one main parking lot for like seniors and people who commuted, and we would literally follow people to their cars or like offer them rides when they walked out of the building. Be like, "Hey, can I have your parking spot? I'll give you a ride." It was really sketchy. It's a good thing that no one got kidnapped.
James D. Martin, he got out of his car. He was walking to the store, and a shot fired, and it was a crack. Now, no one really knows what that sounds like if you haven't heard it before. We talked about it on the Vegas episode. But everyone just saw this guy grab his chest and fall down right in the pavement about 20 feet in front of the door, the entrance, the sliding doors, the Shoppers Warehouse. And he grabs his chest and he dies right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was like a perfect shot to the heart.
Yeah, it was a perfect shot through the back. All right, so...
Shot through the heart.
Jen, come on now. Now there...
To blame. Sorry, I had to finish that one part. I'm done.
I got
I'm
you.
done.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut it. There was a district police station actually across the street, and they jumped up. The officers jumped up because they know what that sounds like. Now, as he was walking to a store, he was shot in the back, and a store CCTV shows, quote, a man grasping his chest before falling down and dying on the pavement.
Ooh.
It seems pretty ballsy for a shooter to be right near a police station.
Yeah. So there was no gun, no gunman found. It was like he was shot by a ghost. He was killed by a ghost. And keep that in mind, it's going to be very important. Now, let me tell you about this guy, James D. Martin. He was a 55-year-old, and he was actually going home to his suburb home in Stonegate neighborhood. He is a 55-year-old program analyst for NOAA. Y'all know what that is?
Yeah,
like
the weather.
Yeah, there you go, the weather. And he was a father of 11-year-old, which is the majority of these victims are fathers or mothers, which is insanely sad. But anyway, this is from the Baltimore Sun, Friday, October 4th. So one day after 2002, if you want to read this is about James D. Martin.
He was extraordinarily friendly from the time he moved in, she said. When trick-or-treaters called, he was known for making a big fuss over them.
He was the first sniper victim. Now, we're in Montgomery County, Maryland, where there is virtually no crime at all. This is a very affluent city we're in.
Affluent
City we're in. About 1 million people. How many homicides do you think a year per 1 million people?
10?
Close, 12. About a dozen.
Wow.
Here's how I'm doing this series, the DC Sniper series, right? The first episode, I'm going to go through the beginning murders 1 through 7 real quick. And then the next episode, I'm going to tell you who's doing this because you probably don't know who's doing this. Do you have any idea who this is?
No.
Who these guys are?
No.
Not yet.
Are they white or black or Latino or anything? Do you know?
I'm just going to say white.
Okay, so the next episode, I'm going to go through the complete psychology and why these guys decided to do this. Is this an act of terrorism or is this just some spree killers? You know, because that's a very important question to ask. And everyone was asking that because guess what? It's not
Right
even the
after 9/11,
anniversary
yeah.
of 9/11 yet, right? James D. Martin was killed at 6:04 p.m. on October 2nd. 6:04 p.m., okay?
2002?
Yeah, 2002.
So it was just the anniversary of 9/11.
Now, victim 2, we're going to October 3rd, 7:41 a.m. So literally not even a little over 12 hours has gone by for the second victim. Okay, is a strong-looking businessman. His name is James L. Buchanan, but everyone that I read in the papers called him Sonny, Sonny. That's him right there.
Oh, yeah, he looks like a Sonny.
Oh, I wonder where I could go to see these pictures of this case.
Go to talkmurder.com.
There you go.
He looks like a nice Italian man.
Okay, now Sonny is actually behind his buddy's car dealership, the Fitzgerald Auto Mall on Rockville Pike. He's actually helping his buddy at 7:41 in the morning. He's mowing the lawn for his buddy. If you want to read this, Nicole, this is from the Times and Democrat, August 12th, 2002.
Buchanan is a 39-year-old poet, a self-employed landscaper who likes to teach children about plants. He has moved to Virginia and had a Christmas tree farm he owns with his father, but he still comes back to Maryland and mows the grass for the dealership, as he has for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, actually, I was reading in another paper. He actually quit his job as a landscaper. I mean, he retired basically, and he moved to his father's location just to help him build the dream home that they both shared. Like since he was young, his father's been talking about building his own custom house and how he wants his son to help him do it and stuff like that. So he was there doing that, building this home for his father. And he had came back to Maryland, you know, to take care of business. And he was mowing a buddy's lawn for his dealership, like not getting paid or anything, just doing it out of the kindness of his heart, right? As he pushes the mower forward, and it's one of those push mowers, it's 7:41, there's a crack in the air. Now, he stumbles forward and falls on the ground, a pool of blood goes everywhere, and there's 2 employees out there.
39-year-old James Sonny Buchanan, a landscaper, active in local girls and boys clubs, shot down while mowing the lawn outside this car dealership. He was just doing a favor for a friend, typical of his generosity.
There's a loud sound like a huge object hitting the ground, thinks body shop manager Gary Huss. Outside, Buchanan stumbles 200 feet into the lot and collapses, face forward. 100 dealership employees surround the bleeding man. They, too, react to the murder with disbelief. Surely the lawnmower exploded. When the ambulance arrives about 10 minutes later, emergency workers find the hole in his chest left by the bullet.
Oof.
This guy's lawnmower did something, man. It chopped him up. He's bleeding real bad. He's down and out.
So they think the lawnmower exploded. They
Exactly. And that's going to be a common occurrence in this story.
anything but a sniper.
Anything but. There's one 911 call you're going to hear. this woman was vacuuming her car at a gas station, and she says, I think the vacuum cleaner exploded or something. Because they hear a loud sound, but if you hear a loud sound like that,
Who would think it's a sniper?
who was going to think it's a sniper? It's not like there's someone with a gun that you can see. Okay, these guys, these snipers were 100 yards away. Okay, 100 yards is a football field away.
Yeah.
You don't see the muzzle flash. You don't see this. You don't really hear the sound of a high-powered rifle because it's so far away. Anyway, I'm gonna get to that.
Did I ever tell you guys about the time when I was walking from? This is when I was a manager at my job at in Massachusetts. But I was walking from the building to my car, and with another manager, and we heard like bullets fly past our heads. Did I tell you about that? It was really scary.
No. Were they really bullets?
It wasn't like right near our head. It was probably like maybe 50 feet away, but still, yeah, it was like
They were legit bullets?
I don't know where they were coming from, but it was scary.
Was it an actual bullet? Was
I didn't
someone
see-
shooting?
I didn't see the bullet, but it was like a
How drunk were you?
I was coming out of work. I was sober.
But were they really bullets?
I don't
Or
think
do
they
you
were
think it
bullets.
was something else?
You'd
I
know
don't
they were
know.
bullets. I remember the first time I got shot at. I knew exactly it was a bullet. And it hit
I had
right by
never
my
been
feet.
shot at before.
Oh. I hadn't either until I got shot at. And I was like, well, that's a bullet.
Was it? Do you think it was like a BB gun?
I don't know, but it was more than just a crack. It was like a crack, and then we heard it like speed, like go past us. It's hard
Okay.
to explain now. It was like several years ago, but
The doctors actually, once they get him to the hospital, now he's dead before they even get him there. He literally bled out on the pavement. Okay. They think it's an accident because the 911 call is like, I think the mower exploded. I mean, they literally thought the mower had exploded and the blade had came out, which is why they make those safety guards. And
Right.
it had chopped him up.
oof.
Not until he was at the hospital. Because remember, this is a second victim. Within, 12 hours, they thought that one was an isolated incident maybe or something,
The shopping
or
center?
something, yeah. No one would think it's a sniper. No one thought it was a sniper until victim 4. Okay?
Gotcha.
Now, he gets to the hospital, and that's when they pulled the bullet out of his hip.
Ooh.
Okay? That had jammed in his hip. That's when they were like, wait, this is no accident. This is an actual murder.
I'm surprised he bled out from a bullet in his hip. No?
Well, it went through. I'll get to this, but a .223 is a very large round.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a sniper rifle. I mean, you get hit with a sniper rifle, you probably ain't gonna die. You probably ain't gonna live.
Anywhere.
I mean, you got probably about a 60% chance you'll die.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even
Now,
if I'm
this
just
is
like
the-
hit in the arm.
This is the second murder in this county, Montgomery County, in 13 hours. Okay, second murder. Victim 3.
Do you happen to know what the current homicide rate in DC is, and what it
I
was
just said 12.
No. DC.
Current.
I don't know.
It's
Like,
pretty high.
currently.
No,
Washington,
it's not.
D.C.
No, it used to be the murder. It is the murder capital of the world, but the very affluent neighborhoods, there's no murders at all.
Well, like second to Chicago, though, right?
I don't know. Anyway,
It's very high.
victim number 3, his name is Prem Kumar Walikar. Okay, where does he come from?
India.
India. There you go. So the first 2 men were white. Now you have an Indian. Okay, so already there's hardly no linkage here at all.
Okay.
Okay, it's starting to look like it's completely random.
Right.
Right.
I mean, he hasn't shot at a woman yet,
True.
but who knows, right? This is 31 minutes after Buchanan,
wow.
Sonny, the one with the lawnmower. 31 minutes after. So the police are responding to that, and then they figure out it's a homicide. Now they're going back to that crime scene. Because after the doctor's like, wait, this is a homicide, not an accident. Then they go mark off the crime scene. 31 minutes later, literally while they're at that crime scene, this one happens. A 50-year-old man, his name is Prem Kumar Walikar. I probably pronounced it wrong, I'm sorry. But 30 years ago, he actually immigrated to America. Okay. He came over here to send money back to his family in India. Now, he's not married over in India, but he still has family he's sending money to.
Parents and stuff.
He came over here to go to college, and eventually he was going to retire and go live with his parents and, his family back in India.
Okay.
Okay. Now, when he came over here, he actually started doing really well for himself. And eventually he bought his own taxi cab, his own taxi cab, and he was a taxi driver.
Okay.
So he was going to college and he was a taxi driver. He actually had a wife too over here. He met his wife about 4 years after he got here. Mm-hmm. In fact, this day was the 25th anniversary of them being married. Okay. That this happens.
That's sad.
He's on his way to the gas station. Mm-hmm. Okay. And he actually passes his wife. They drive by each other and they wave. Hey, honey, I'll be home in a minute. Just got to get gas. Come back home. He goes inside to buy a Lucky Lotto ticket, mm-hmm. and then he comes back and he starts to pump. Now, this is in his taxi. Keep in mind. This is from the Times and Democrat, October 12th, 2002.
Police Corporal Paul Kukuka is driving nearby. Police Corporal Paul Kukuka is nearby driving to the funeral of a fellow officer who died of a heart attack when a woman runs toward him, her arms waving. "This man has just been shot. He's bleeding," she shouts. Kukuka runs to the pumps and finds Walakar, blood flowing from his chest, dying.
Okay, here is the picture of that. You see the blood?
Ooh, yeah. That's tough to look at.
Yeah, I'm putting all these pictures on talkmore.com, so be sure to go. Here, you can read this. It's very sad because I actually watched a video of his son. I think he was like 20 years old, and he just broke down in tears, Because, his father, the one that just got murdered in broad daylight, is a good, outstanding man with kids and a wife. And he was coming over here and he was working his ass off, making something of himself so he can retire in India. And all of a sudden, at a gas station, pumping gas, his life is over.
Things like this always happen to good people. He never did anything.
That's the son.
And he believed in God, and I don't know, I guess stuff happens. I know he's in heaven for a fact, because he never hurt anybody.
I don't even know if I'd be able to be that composed to even give any sort of interview if something like that happened to one of my family members.
Well, here's a photo of his son breaking down at his funeral. You see him right there. That's the casket. Oh. It's a dedication to him. This is a very sad story, but it's also a very extremely interesting. If you want to read this is from the Baltimore Sun.
Family and friends gathered yesterday to bury Prem Kumar Walakar, a taxi driver slain Thursday at an Aspen Hill gas station. Walakar, 54, was remembered as quiet, funny, generous, and caring, a man who showed his affection with a gentle pinch of a child's cheek. Family friend Lazarus Borge told the mourners that Walakar's was indiscriminately shot.
No, indiscriminately. They misprinted in the paper.
Was indiscriminately shot dead by an elusive assailant. Those evil hands entered his life like a snap in an instant.
Like a snap in an instant. Okay, so I said we're going pretty quick through these. There's a lot of victims. And the reason I'm going really quick is because I want to set the pace of what they were going at. This was 31 minutes later.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to get to why they were going so quick and killing so many people really quick. But victim number 4, this is 8:36 a.m. So count this down with me. The victim number 2 was 7:41 a.m. Okay, 31 minutes later would be what? 8:10? Mm-hmm. Okay, so this victim 4, 8:36. 27 minutes later. Mm-hmm. Okay, the same day, 27 minutes later. Okay, this is Sarah Ramos. I'm going to show you a picture of her right now. I'll put these on talkmore.com if you guys want to see. That's her right there. Mm-hmm. Mm. You want to guess where she's from?
Brazil?
Mexico?
Portugal?
Puerto Rico?
She's a 34-year-old housekeeper and babysitter, a wife and a mother of a 7-year-old boy. She was sitting on this bench at 8:36 a.m. in the morning. And at 8:37, she was shot in the head. If you see, this is the bench right here.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Do you see the bullet?
Holy shit.
The bullet hole?
That's some thick glass that
Is
that went
very
through.
thick glass in this window. She was sitting right there. You see her head, your head would be about right there if you were sitting on that bench.
Wow.
It went directly through her head.
They didn't replace that glass?
I mean,
I guess this is the crime
This
scene.
is literally
Oh.
the crime scene.
Oh, well.
So
okay.
so is it don't to me though. I mean, they got one guy in the chest, one in the head. It's to me, it seems like maybe these guys are like professionally trained.
That's a good point. Keep that in mind. This is the same thing you see. So she's sitting on the bench here, and there is the bullet.
Wow.
This is also a kind of hard to view photo right here. This is the actual crime scene. Do you see her?
Oh, gosh.
She's in that tarp. Okay, and here's another picture of that. This is the amount of blood. That same tarp right there, that's the bottom of it. Yeah, so it's very
Graphic.
very graphic, for sure. This is from the Baltimore Sun, October 27, 2002, if you want to read that.
A little more than a mile away, in front of a post office in Silver Spring, a Salvadorian immigrant sits on a metal bench and reads. Sarah Ramos was a law student in her native country. Now she is a 34-year-old house cleaner waiting for her ride to work. The shot, like all others, comes from nowhere. It passes through her head and into the crisp and juicy carryout restaurant behind her. She was sitting on the bench, just sitting there, says a waitress, Dolores Walgreen. It is 8:37 a.m., and 3 people have died in the past 56 minutes.
Oof.
The
56 minutes.
3 people in 56 minutes. The 911 call that came in said, "Please hurry. This woman has just committed suicide."
Girl just shot herself. She just shot herself.
And she shot herself in the
what?
head. Yeah, exactly. Because you don't see anything. You don't know. I'm gonna tell you right now. This bullet and many of the other ones were actually traveling across a 4-lane to 6-lane highway
Oh
with
my
cars
God.
going in between.
Now,
Okay,
did
the bullet.
any of the victims, were any of the victims traveling in a car? And
No. They were all stationary or walking. Yeah.
Sarah Ramos, 34, who also spoke little English, had been the primary wage earner in her small family, supporting her husband and their 7-year-old son, Carlos Jr., Gaffigan said. She worked full-time as a housekeeper and nanny for Gaffigan's family and several of his friends and relatives. She just radiated love, he said. She had such a sweet way with children. When Larry Gaffigan and his wife, Barbara, sat down to explain to their children that they would never see Sarah Ramos or James Martin again, the children, Kelsey, 7, and Jacob, 10, wept and grew angry, Gaffigan said.
So how was Martin related to Ramos?
Oh, did it go in there? Did it go in there? I was about to bring that up. So James D. Martin, this was the only link, and it's not even a link. It's purely coincidence. But James D. Martin, the first victim from that Shoppers, was a friend of this guy Gaffigan, Carlos Gaffigan.
Okay.
Carlos Gaffigan also employed Sarah Ramos as a housekeeper. That is a very coincidental,
Total coincidence.
link in the chain. That's the only link you'll see in this whole story. And that's a good question. I'm glad you caught that. It's very ironic. It has nothing to do with planning or anything. These all were victims of opportunity and of randomness. But it is very ironic that this man lost 2 friends, a housekeeper and one of his best friends. I actually read a whole article on this guy, and it talks about how is even possible to even move forward from this. He just lost 2 good friends. You know, it's crazy.
But, okay, so even though it was a coincidence, was he questioned, Gaffigan?
I'm sure he was questioned, but and he did media appearances too, because if you type in his name in the newspaper archives, he's there talking to media.
Right.
But it's probably he was questioned, and it was quickly okay, this is not in anything. I'm sure he was thought as not a suspect, but like a person of interest. Like someone may have linked him somewhere. Like he may be a link.
Also, was this guy a professional? Because clearly whoever is doing this has some serious shooting skills.
Yes, he was a professional. And I'm going to get into that in the next episode.
Gaffigan or the sniper?
No. Gaffigan is just an old guy that was friends.
I thought you were about to say Gaffin was actually a professional shooter.
No, the sniper. The sniper was. And I'm going to get into that. It's episode 2, but I'm telling you, if there's one episode 2 that you need to listen to, it's this one, because I'm going to break down so much crazy shit that no one else has gone into. Okay,
can I ask another question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So far we've gone through 4.
Yeah.
Are all 4 one sniper? Or are they alternating?
That's a good question. Now I answered it. Is one sniper.
So far,
yeah.
Interesting. Because that's a lot of movement to be made in 56 minutes.
Yeah, that's...
Especially in DC traffic.
I'm sorry. Let me just tell you how it is right now. There's 2 men in a vehicle. They travel together. They're not splitting up, if that's what you mean.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. But there's one man shooting.
See, that's
and
what
the other's the lookout.
I was under the impression that since they were so close together, that maybe they were double teaming and like one was in one location and going to another location.
That's a good point.
I was thinking.
That's not the case, but that's a very good point you brought up.
So did the driver ever shoot, or was just the driver?
He was just the driver.
Interesting.
And the lookout, which is a very important thing. So
Okay.
It's interesting that they thought that she killed herself, because wouldn't you see that she didn't have a weapon in her hand? Sarah Ramos, they said that they thought that she had killed herself, but there was she would not have had a weapon in her hand.
Yeah, but like I said,
they probably would have figured it out as soon as they got there.
But the guy that called, it didn't see anyone come and shoot her in the head.
Right.
There's no one in the parking lot.
So it was like, was it a driver that was driving by and just saw her like...
No, it was somebody walking in the parking lot, and then all of a sudden her head blows off, and there's no one around her. There's no one even in the parking lot. Right. No one's running away or anything. It's just like...
Who is it?
Well, she just literally got her head blown off. The obvious conclusion is she got shot.
Right.
So she must have shot herself.
Okay, yeah.
Like it was, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, the main important part is you don't see these guys.
Right.
They're 100 yards plus away. That they're using a sniper rifle. And, you cannot see them. The only thing you can see is like a muzzle flash, like we talked about in the Vegas episode. But he's so far away that you can't even see that anyway. Plus, it's in broad daylight.
Yeah.
You can hear the sound, the crackle of the bullet, but 100 yards away, it may not even sound like that, and plus all these cars going by. This is 7:41 in the morning. Everyone's going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? This is crazy. Like, all right, here we go.
Hey, good evening from New York. A manhunt is on.
Okay, this is John Roberts. This is CBS News from 2002. This is like a week after. This is a few days after the event. I'm just pulling old. I'm pulling old news clips to kind of build the story.
A manhunt is on tonight after a bizarre and deadly shooting spree in Maryland. It began last evening, continued into mid-morning today, and the police can only hope it's over. CBS News correspondent Joey Chen joins us now live from Rockville, Maryland, with the very latest. Joey?
John, much of suburban Washington is on alert as a search continues for one, possibly 2 men, a white truck, and a motive for a seemingly random series of shootings of 5 people.
Okay, did you hear what she said?
A white truck.
A white truck. Okay, so here's what happened on the 4th shooting. A witness came forward and said they saw a white box truck leaving the area at a high rate of speed.
A box truck, like a moving truck? Or what do you mean by box truck?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it was actually an Isuzu truck, and I'm going to show you right now. It's like the ones that you see on Dunkin' Donuts and stuff. They drive them. It's kind of like a donut truck almost.
So yeah, like a moving truck. Yeah, like it has a cab, and then it has the
So this is actually the one that they were looking for, something like this.
Gotcha.
Okay, but That's not the actual vehicle they used, but
That's what they were looking for.
yeah, so you probably saw that other thing there. They were actually driving this blue Caprice.
Oh,
right
okay.
here. This is what they were driving.
That's starkly different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
they
what
just
happens?
happened to see the other car at the same
Exactly.
time.
So the chief of police for Montgomery County, where these 4 murders have happened, his name is Chief Moose. He actually honed in on this white he honed in on this white box truck theory, and he pushed that everywhere.
All of the information about the white box truck, the composites that we put out about the vans from Spotsylvania County, all of that is still relevant information, very important information to our investigation.
Mm-hmm. So now you have thousands of calls coming into the hotline they set up saying, I see a box truck. There's a box truck on the interstate. They were pulling over box trucks.
But there's like thousands of box trucks.
Thousands of box trucks. And it's not even the one they were using. They weren't even using a box truck. It was just one. You see how one witness can completely, and he didn't mean to. I mean, he saw a white box truck leaving, he's probably just driving like an asshole. But that completely derailed the investigation and sent it off into this tunnel vision, which we see in so many cases. They're all looking for this white box truck, and he's not even the box truck, And that was a very big part of this story.
He took off right away at the light, hit south, took 95. But we did hear the shot and saw the van at the same time.
Okay, not only that, but as we talked about earlier, this was a year after 9/11. So perhaps it's terrorism. You know how Bush was all about terrorism? This is from the Associated Press. This is from their Archive section, which I definitely recommend you guys subscribe to. Archive section. I definitely recommend you guys subscribe to this. I did not have sex with that. Oh, wait, that's not him, is he?
No.
Different guy.
He wasn't a very tall man, was he?
Yeah, the sniper attacks. First of all, I'm just sick to my stomach.
I actually remember this exact interview when I was in high school. Isn't that crazy? Like, I remember this so well, this exact footage. Fucking nuts. And you know how my memory
sucks.
That
there is a cold-blooded killer at home taking innocent life. I weep for those who've lost their loved ones. The idea of moms taking their kids to school and sheltering them from a potential sniper attack is not the American I know. Well, first of all, it is a form of terrorism, but in terms of the terrorism that we think of, we have no evidence one way or the other, obviously. But anytime anybody is randomly shooting, randomly killing, randomly taking life, it's cold-blooded murder, and it's a sick mind. It's obviously loves terrorizing society. And we'll do it.
He's not really one with words. Loves terrorizing society. I don't really. Did you guys?
That made no sense.
Loves terrorizing society. What the fuck?
When it's interesting.
George W.
I wish that I remembered more about his presidency.
Oh my God.
Other than like the fact that he was known as like this bumbling buffoon.
Yeah, he was.
And like, I obviously was not old enough to understand the politics behind.
I mean, I'd eat a hot dog with him and drink a beer with
I
him,
would
but
too. Do some cocaine with him, maybe. Okay, tell me.
That may have been Bill.
Nicole, tell me why this can't be Al Qaeda, or this isn't Al Qaeda doing this, because I mean this is right after 2001.
Well, I think it's random. It's too small, and they have to know the infrastructure.
And they didn't claim.
No, there's plenty of ISIS cells over here right now living probably in Mount Pleasant.
They didn't claim any.
Boom! Very good, Jen. Give her a sticker. They did not claim responsibility for any of the victims. That's how they knew, or most people in the higher agencies knew that it wasn't Al Qaeda. Exactly, because what happens when Al Qaeda, kills someone or blows something up? They want to take credit for shit they didn't even do.
Exactly. There was an Air Force plane that also crashed today. I think Al Qaeda claimed responsibility for that.
Okay, this wasn't a terrorist act per se.
I think they're trying too hard.
The FBI, ATF, U.S. Marshals, and the Secret Service were all involved at this point. Now, this is only in one person.
We're only up to 4 at this point.
We're only at 4, and we're only in one county. So you have Chief Moose, which is that guy right there on your screen. He is leading the investigation. Now, he gets a lot of backlash, but I looked at some of his older videos from the 90s when he was cleaning up the city streets and stuff, and he seems like a pretty straightforward dude. But I mean, he has a big responsibility now. And he'll say, he said, quote, the homicide rate in Montgomery County, where these 4 murders have happened, have skyrocketed 25% in the last 13 hours. Okay, remember 12?
Yeah.
12 a year. And now you add 4 more to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's fast tracking right there. That's fast tracking. This is a little bit about the panic that was ensuing. Like I said, if you're not old enough to remember, you really don't get it, but people were scared to pump their gas. People were scared to do anything. Little shit that you take for granted. Like when you're at the gas station, Jen, you're like picking your butt because there's like toilet paper stuck in there,
It's like, how do you know, John?
But I do walk around my community with a little more caution than I did before. When I'm up here at the shopping center and I walk by the bus stop and I thought about it for the first time. So as I'm going about my normal life, I definitely have a lot more caution.
See, but I think that they're also targeting people who are, well, I guess the lawnmower guy wasn't really stationary. But if there's a sniper around your area, like I definitely wouldn't stop to be interviewed, because then that's a chance that something could happen. Like, I'm not trying to stand still and become a still target for these people.
There's actually this group called the Guardian Angels. I saw a little video of them. I think they're a religious, like maybe, I don't know, Baptist or whatever, just Good Samaritan types. But they would go to the gas stations. They would, just be at the gas stations, and they would pump your gas for you while you sit in the car.
That's brave.
And like, because they're not wearing vests or anything. They're sitting there pumping the gas. I'm like, dude, you guys have a death wish.
Like if I wouldn't say that I would never do that, but if I did that, I would need to be wearing some sort of protective vest and helmet. Like SWAT gear.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's troubling. But, the residents of Washington have faced an awful lot of stuff in the last year, from people flying airplanes into buildings to the anthrax attacks. We face, crazy shooters most days of the year, or at least the threat of it. So we're just trying to go along as business as usual.
When you think about the attacks that have happened, the anthrax, this, and 9/11, it's sad. But then I think about where we are and like where I've lived in Boston. Like, well, I wasn't really in Boston. I was closer to the Cape, but that's neither here nor there. But like, if something were to happen, like, where do you think that people would go next? Like, I don't know if they would come here. I mean, we're a major port in Charleston, so it could be a target. But at the same time, like, wouldn't you go to like a major city? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't even know what the point of that question was. It was just a thought.
Pascal Charlotte was a father of 6. Now, he is the first victim outside of Montgomery County.
Okay.
So the first 4 happens in Montgomery County. Now, he's the first one that is outside of that county.
And Georgia Street. So what's going on there? The dude just got shot here at the intersection.
So he got shot walking across the street. Now, I was reading in the newspaper, everyone that saw him get shot, okay, he's dead in the street, they all run to the local Waffle House, and they basically get down and cover because they're, everyone's scared as shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Did you know that Waffle House on Valentine's Day has like this white linen like Valentine's Day dinner?
Well, that's really depressing.
I think that's sweet.
Yeah, maybe I'll spend my Valentine's Day there by myself.
Yeah, you will.
This morning at approximately 9:35 a.m., the Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office responded to the Exxon station at Route 1 in the intersection of I-95 in reference to a black male being shot. At the time the shot was fired, a Virginia State Trooper was across the street working a traffic accident. He heard the shot, responded over to assist the victim. Rescue squad responded. The victim was transported to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. He was a black male. That's the only thing I have right now. Obviously, we're in the preliminary stages of this investigation.
It's so interesting, like when you think about the division, like the Mason-Dixon line, like when you think of D.C. and even Maryland, like there's no really Southern accent. And then that state right below in Virginia, it's like there's a Southern accent. There it comes.
With a uniformed trooper directly across the street, obviously we're dealing with an individual that's extremely violent and obviously doesn't care.
So that's the gas station. Like I said, this is the second gas station murder. I mean,
so that's a commonality a little bit.
I'm also wondering if they were targeting just people at gas station pumping their gas just because, or if they were hoping that if they missed, if they caused more destruction by shooting into like a gas tank. Wondered if that was possible motive.
I don't think so. I mean, because the reason I say that is because they're not going to miss.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
they're snipers. I guess
they're
you're right.
trained. Yeah. This is Caroline Sewell. She's 43 years old. She's from Spotsylvania County. She's at the Michael's. It's like a Hobby Lobby, right? Michael's Home Goods store.
Yeah, it's like a craft store, like AC Moore.
She's at the Michael's and she gets shot by a sniper. Now, she is the first victim here to survive.
Oh.
She actually survives the shooting. Okay.
Wow. Did she see anything?
No, she didn't see anything. She just got shot and hit the ground. And luckily they got her, bandaged up because she was losing blood really bad. What do we got so far? We got white males. We got a black male. We got someone from India. Okay. And then we got was Salvadorian, like an immigrant, right?
Oh, yeah. You never said where she was from.
So
El Salvador?
No, Salvadorian. It's said in the newspaper.
Oh, yeah, from El Salvador.
This guy, it seems
random.
really random. Yeah. I mean, but he's not like, all right, so he's not just picking off one race.
It's weird that he's going to different locations and picking off random people. Instead of just picking off people in a single location.
Yeah. I will give you this one tidbit before the next episode. The planning was intense for these. And every one of these locations is right by a major highway. I'm talking about all they got to do is pull out.
Yeah, easy getaway.
And get right on the highway, 95 or whatever. It's right there. Okay.
That explains maybe the quick time in between the shootings as well.
Okay, I'm just going to play this one and tell me what you guys think.
Hello, this is Benjamin Haskell Middle School. We have a child outside that says he's been shot.
About how old is he?
12 or 13.
Oh my God, no.
Did somebody just drive off with him?
Yeah. I don't know where.
Someone drove off with the kid that got shot?
Yeah, so
drove off with the kid?
Benjamin Tasker Middle School in Maryland. Okay, it faces a 4-lane highway. This aunt drops her nephew off at the middle school. The car is actually facing this park with all this wooded area. I'm going to show you right now, actually. This is where the sniper was. If you go to talkmurder.com, you can see. He was in this wooded area. Now, there's poison ivy and all kinds of stuff in there. Keep in mind. The victim's name is Iron Brown. Now, he gets dropped off, and he's got his backpack on it, and he's, walking to school. He's about 20 yards in front of the door to his middle school. He's 13 years old.
Got it. He's in his chest on the left side. Hold it, Is he conscious and breathing? You guys know who shot him? No, I did not see anybody in the area. He's 13. We were just in front of the school, and he was walking into the school, and I heard a loud noise, and then he fell. And is he conscious and breathing?
Do you hear him in the back? So the person, you remember the principal saying someone drove off with him. So basically, here's what happened. He gets shot, and he drops his backpack and everything, and he stumbles back to his aunt's car. Now, the aunt doesn't know he's been shot. And this 13-year-old's like, I've been shot. And she doesn't believe him at first until she sees all the blood pulling up. And luckily for everyone, she's a registered nurse. So she throws him in the back of the car, and she starts driving like shit to get to the hospital. And this boy survives.
Good.
Oh my God.
Okay, who are you to him? Are you his mother? No, I'm his aunt. You're his aunt? Oh, my goodness. Are you okay, Iron? Okay. Okay, he's still breathing, right? Yes, he's still breathing, but he looks pale. And he has, what is your name? Tanya Brown.
You hear
Tanya Brown?
honking?
Let me go! Let me go past! I gotta go past! Let me go past! Miss
Oh, my
Brown.
God.
Wow.
I'd be driving like a maniac, dude.
You were driving like that when we had to take Odebs to the hospital.
That's true. So
people thought I was about to give birth in the back seat.
Now, this was a Monday morning. This is October 7th. Now, this all started on the 2nd. Everyone knows about the shooter. Okay, they even know that they're in the county. But the chief of police, the one you just saw, and Chief Moose, they didn't want to cause a panic. So they were like, school's open, resume, the daily activities, stuff like that. Because there is a line here, okay? And they just crossed it. And that is a kid.
Well, I would argue that they crossed the line well before that, but it just tips it over the edge.
Yeah, but there is this, what I mean by line is this means they literally will kill anybody. If they're going to try to kill a kid, they would kill anybody. Okay, this shows the public right here that these guys are straight monsters. They do not care. They will kill a child. They will kill a pregnant woman, which I'm going to talk about later. They'll kill anybody. They will kill whoever. Okay, and they actually prefer it to be shocking like that, right? All right, so he survived after being shot in the stomach. Now, the injuries were to his diaphragm, liver, and spleen. He lost 20% of his blood.
Yikes.
He has a hole. He had a hole in his liver. Yeah, exactly. This is kind of where I'm going to wrap the episode up on this one. And then next episode, we're going to go deep into who these guys are, because I know you guys are wondering.
Hell yeah.
Because they're expert shooters, and they seem like they're military trained.
Yeah.
Okay. And probably no other podcast or whatever goes into this, but there's a very radical thinking behind these two men. And I want to dive really deep into that. Like really deep. Okay. But I want to start with this.
Such a cliffhanger right now.
But I want to say one thing. The real cliffhanger is that there was a message for the police that they found at that school.
Really?
Yeah. So if you saw the picture over here, if you're looking back in the bushes right there, this was actually the first murder that this was actually the first shooting that the detectives believe was not done inside the vehicle.
Huh.
This was the one done on
the kid one?
The kid one.
They got out of the car.
Exactly. This was the first one they used the dog. I was kind of looking up how the dogs work, the police dog. What they do is called bracketing. So they'll pick up a scent, but then they'll lose it. So they'll kind of just go back and forth. You remember seeing those dogs go back and forth and back and forth? That's called bracketing.
Yeah. Okay.
Until they pinpoint that one scent. And that scent laid right there. He sat down right in front of a human outline. Basically, if you sit on the leaves for an hour, you're going to make this indention.
Yep.
It was the size of a human. So they knew that was where the sniper had took position, and there was a log right there where he rested the sniper rifle on. And right beside the shell casing, which was a .223 shell casing, which had matched all the other killings, all the other victims, okay, there was a piece of evidence. Now, this is where I want to leave it, because this will really get you thinking, especially since you guys don't actually know the story. It'll really get you thinking who these guys are. This was what was left at the scene of the crime.
Whoa, a tarot card.
A tarot card. This is the death tarot card. And it says, "For you, Mr. Police." And then it says, "Code, call me God." Now, I want to say this leaked for the media within 2-hour period. And every newspaper I read on this day, from this day, said, "I am God." It was misquoted, okay? But the correct thing is "call me God." And then it says, "do not release to the press." So tell me, just reading the back of that card, and go to talkmore.com to see it, tell me what you think sticks out. There's a few things.
Is this referencing the Black Death, the card?
It's either saying like, well, one thing it says, call me God. So it's only saying that there's like one person responsible. I mean, even though we know there's two people involved, it's like only drawing attention to one.
They're in quote, everything's in quotation. Do not release to the press and call me God are in quotations.
And I think that maybe the call me God is referencing death. So maybe like death is like God of all. So maybe I don't.
Okay, so do you remember the Ted Kaczynski movie, The Unabomber?
Yeah.
Do you remember the lead detective? His name was Detective Fitzgerald. Do you remember that guy?
Yeah.
Okay, he was in charge, or he was in the behavioral analysis unit at the FBI, the BAU. Okay, and now they constantly get made fun of, especially back then. But he was actually the one that solved that case by doing the forensic the forensic handwriting and stuff like that. They solved that case like that. So they call him on this case. And there's an Amazon book out there. Now it's not a book; it's only an audio book. You can't even read the book; it kind of sucks. But it's an audio book called "Call Me God," and he actually gets on there and explains his reasoning as a behavioral analysis unit professional in the FBI, what he sees. Okay, and it's completely different from what you guys saw, which is no offense. I wouldn't see it either.
Also, doesn't he writes "Call me God" at the top of that?
No.
Front of the card too.
This is the beauty of the.
Oh yeah, I see what you say.
Yeah, it's at the very top
on
too.
two places.
This is the beauty of the behavioral analysis, because most police officers and detectives will see exactly what we all see here. But this is what he said, Detective Fitzgerald. Number one, Mr. Police. Mr. Police. Mm-hmm. Where's that from? Who says that?
A child.
Have you ever heard that in a song before? Maybe a reggae song? Bob Marley says that.
Yeah! Then we get caught in a roadblock and tell the Mr. Police that they ain't got no bird surfer ticket right here.
Okay, that's a reggae term. Okay, that means what?
Maybe Jamaican?
Maybe Jamaican. Good start, right? Another thing he says, do not release to the press. Who says press? Everyone nowadays says media. And back in that day, it was media. Press is never, no one says press. Don't release this to the press. Release to the media.
So
it's something
older?
small, but yeah, exactly. So it's an older person.
Or foreign, yeah.
Or foreign, yeah. So that's kind of what, if you listen to the audiobook, that's kind of what he was talking about. Those two things. And as a behavioral analysis, that one thing, Mr. Police, is huge. Like, insanely huge.
Okay.
To me, it sounds childlike.
Yeah, I agree. But what about the Call Me God? Do we have any info on that?
I was going to get into this next episode, but I'll tell you real quick from what I know about it, and I'm still going to do a little research on it. But snipers have what the FBI calls a God complex.
Okay, because they take the life away from someone?
Well, not only that, but think if you're a freaking Zeus up in the sky and you can just easily shoot a lightning bolt and kill someone, you know, and you're a million miles away. Same with a sniper. He could be up in a tower like that movie, or, you know, 100 yards away, and he can just pick anyone off that he wants at his will. It's his will. He can do it because he's God.
Okay.
Right? He doesn't have to run up and get in a conversation. He could just put his mind to it and you're dead. That's a God complex. That's what snipers supposedly have. Okay, that's and I don't know if he meant it like that, but that's what the FBI thinks. And another thing, this is a spree killer case. So what I was learning about spree killers is they kill, you know, just kind of like Andrew Cunanan. And the one thing that makes spree killers different is most likely, like almost 100% of the time, is they're going to kill until they're backed into a corner, and then they're going to have a shootout or they're going to fight to the last bullet. That's a spree killer. Andrew Cunanan was the same way, and they believe these guys are going to be the exact same way. Okay, that's the spree killer. They're going to keep doing it. They knew that from the first, you know, they already know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next episode, we're going to be diving into who these two individuals are. One of the individuals wrote a complete diary, and it's an excellent read. It's 245 pages, but it explains everything in perfect detail. And we're going to be reading a lot.
Did he
from
write that before or during or after?
He wrote that after the fact. Yeah. But
fascinating.
Yeah. So we're going to be reading that. And instead of just reading the news reports like we've been doing and showing you the, the outsider perspective, we're going to be doing a lot of the other murders in his perspective. It's like, okay, I loaded the shot, boom. You know what I'm saying? And that was in his diary.
Okay.
So that's going to be for next episode. It's going to be very interesting, a lot of psychology, and there's a lot more murders that had taken place. Plus, there's some before these even started. So what do you guys think?
Wow, this is interesting.
I can't wait for the next time, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting story. It's been really addicting reading, honestly. Like, I just cannot stop thinking about it, but I can't wait to get into more on the next time. So.
I feel like we're left on a total cliffhanger right now.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button on whatever podcasting app you use. If you like the story, you can follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you're absolutely obsessed with this podcast and want to become our god, go to talkmurder.com/join, become a Taco Supremo, get a badass t-shirt, sticker, swag, a lot of love. Shout it out all over the place. Tell me what story you want me to do. I'll research it, dedicate it to you on the Talk Murder Me podcast. My name is John, here with Jen and Nicole. And until next time.
Trying to reach the green from here, shooter?
That's not possible, sir.
I beg to differ. Happy Gilmore accomplished that feat no more than an hour ago.
Well, moron, good for Happy Gilmore. Oh, my God!